I'm Phil Porter from Takaraka Bush Resort at Carnarvon Gorge. This is the walk into Nicky's Creek and Warrumbah Gorge. It's one of the shorter walks in the area, but a very, very beautiful walk. Nicky's Creek is quite a narrow little canyon, very typical of some of the narrow canyons in this area. You can see this area has been affected by a recent bushfire, which is only about not much more than a week and a half ago. But already you can see how green it is, and it's coming back beautifully. Most of the vegetation has really evolved with fire, and fire doesn't harm it in the long run. Most of these trees, the long, slender, light-trunked trees, are the spotted gums, and they're by far the most dominant species in the lower part of the gorge. You also get quite a few ironbarks, the darker coloured ones, with the very dense, hard, thick bark, but spotted gum is absolutely the more dominant one. As they age, the bark gradually darkens, and then it peels, and the bark, the light bark underneath, you get little bits of the older barks left behind, and hence they're called spotted gums. The palm trees through here, the taller palms, are one of the Livistonias. They're called the Carnarvon fan palm. They're actually endemic just to this area, and they don't seem to be greatly affected by fire either. As you can see, some of these are already, there's green sprouting out on the top of them. And some of the gum trees here are already starting to shoot again. They shoot out from the actual branch, from the trunk of the tree. It's really incredible to see a fire go through and see how quickly it springs back afterwards. It really doesn't take long at all. Of course, eventually all of those smaller shoots will develop into branches. There is already quite a bit of green grass coming up underneath all through this area too. The rock through here is just the sandstone. These are basically pieces of sandstone that have fallen down from the top, and you can see the layers of deposition within them. And there's places where it suddenly changes angle really quite sharply. That is simply because this was all river sediments laid down somewhere in the order of 180 million years ago on the bottom of a river. And as a river ages, it will change course and come from different angles. There's all up in Carnarvon Gorge, there's probably somewhere in the order of 40 million years of deposition. And so over that time, the rivers would have changed their courses regularly and coming in from different angles, and hence you get different layers of deposition. Nicky's Creek itself is another one of the permanent creeks in the area. Many of the creeks coming off of the Carnarvon Range, even though they're only very, very small, are actually permanent. They will always have some water in them. And that's just because of the water seeping through the sandstone. The sandstone is basically a huge sponge, and it holds enormous quantities of water. And where it meets the impervious layers underneath, water just seeps out continually. And they're very, very, very important for the local area, these creeks. They allow vegetation that you would not normally get anywhere near this area. And you can see how a lot of the trees will actually grow directly on top of the rock itself. The rock being so soft, the trees can get their roots right into it, and because it holds water, they eagerly put their roots into it and looking for a drink. And not just the trees either, a lot of the ferns, as you can see, you can see a lot of the rock is completely covered in ferns and mosses, and again it's just because of the moisture that's held in that sandstone. There are a huge number of species of ferns found in the area. A lot of big bird nest ferns are found, and the elkhorn ferns are very, very common. You'll see them growing on almost every tree and almost every rock in a lot of the areas in the Carnarvon Gorge. Beautiful big straight trunks on the spotted gums is simply because they're going straight up to find light. Down in the closer into the range, there's not a lot of light reaches them, so they go straight up to get to the light rather than going out.
And so Carnarvon Gorge, in a sense, is giving us some insights into the future as well, isn't it? When we see all these boulders and things down at the base, some of them might end up in sedimentary layers in the future
exactly,
as well.
Yeah, exactly. This area was laid down by rivers. It's just sand that was eroded from somewhere else, compacted and formed into rock. But it's gradually, bit by bit, breaking down, and that sand is getting washed away, and eventually that could become another rock somewhere in the future. It's a continual recycling process, and you're really seeing it probably at its best here. It's a very, very good example of that.